Conversation has conversation. 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 Conversation has conversation.
I'm in film!
I'm gonna have to get a new Ben. This one's all stupid.
Hey Liam, I made us a Bebo page. Ah, Bebo shut down.
That's funny. That's current, isn't it?
Ah!
Anyone in? Never occurred to me how much like one of your feet properly looks like a bell end.
Hey Liam, I made us a Bebo.
Idiot.
There's no way to talk about yourself. Fucking idiot.
Okay then. Okay, yes, I know you're angry. Ow, my ass.
Look at this. I'm going to draw a frowny face because I'm really disappointed at you. Only we're going to know it's there.
Praise, please.
Right, do French.
No French, not James Acaster.
Brick. Corduroy. Colombian hash.
Lick the stamp!
Filibuster. Moose furs. No! 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 No!
Come with me,
Come.
and you'll be
Bang.
in a world of photosensitive seizures.
Lavender oil. Marjorie. Marge Simpson. Abe Simpson. Abe Lincoln. Top hats. Fedoras. Incels. Hand jobs. Hand lotion. Lotion. Oils. Back to lavender oil. There you go. Did it in one. I have nothing else to give. Right, go stand somewhere.
3, 2, 1.
Wait, hang on. I'm having not just second thoughts, but third, fourth, and fifth thoughts. I don't know if I should do this right.
No, this is not.
Fucking hell. 3.
No, hang on, wait.
I didn't tell him to do that. Why didn't you tell?
Milk.
That's the job, mate. You ready? Mm-hmm. Maybe inhale a wee bit. There we go.
Yo, I must have fallen on a bullet and it drove itself into my gut.
Hey, don't worry. You don't have to make up stories here. Save that for court. Save that for court.
Excuse me, Mr. Smithers. Bart may be seriously hurt. Could we possibly go ahead of you?
No. I really would rather get this taken care of. No. I really would rather. No. Excuse me, little lady. Wheelbarrow line is over there. Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers are a dangerous mix. Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers are a dangerous mix. Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers are a dangerous mix. Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers are a dangerous mix.
Excuse me, Mr. Smithers.
Excuse me, little lady.
Excuse me, Mr. Smithers.
Excuse me, little lady.
Excuse me, Mr. Smithers.
Excuse me, little lady.
Excuse me, Mr. Smithers.
Live. Die. Die? Live. 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 Live! Live! Stop! Live! Live!
Jeremy Mange, isn't he strange? But listen to his voice, he's got incredible range.
No. 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 Back. Down. No. Ready?
Ready.
Hello? Anyone home? Do you have life insurance? You got your will sorted? Just a few signatures and we can take over all that icky business for you. Will you be there at the end, signing papers, telling your loved ones which ones get the telly and which ones just get to feel ripped off? Unlikely. You're probably going to go mental and think you're an actual fish. Why not sign the papers now? Get that all over and done with while you still can. Yes, there will be problems, but for us, that's our guarantee. Awesome life insurance, awesome with an O. Oh, like I made that up on the spot, but I'm reading it off my paper. No more problems for you. Nothing to worry about at all. Yes, it's our problem, but not yours. Erasmus Life Insurance, where the Rasmus is in the... And you won't even have to worry. Leave you alone forever. You'll never see me again. Obviously not. Would I ever go up the stairs or anywhere else where you're not? That's the awesome promise. We can do it really cheap right now if you just sign the paper. What we're really selling here is peace of mind.
Hey, Liam.
Hi,
Liam.
Ben. Hi, Ben's crotch.
Look at my. How is this my crotch? This is my T-shirt.
Oh, it's your T-shirt. What's that? Some kind
Gengar.
of Pikmin? Is that a Pikmin? Is that a Pikmin?
It is.
Is that
It's a Pikmin
Pikmin?
from Digimon Hunter.
Pikmin's Adventures. Pikmin's Adventures in capturetheminaball.com.
Look at him dance.
It's a purple boy, and he's got a happy face. And I've got to say, like, I'm really sick of going on Zoom chats with people who, for some reason, you only get to see, like, the top half of their head. And I don't know why that is. Yeah, like, what, Auntie Sandra, I cannot actually see you.
Can you hear me?
No. Go away, Sandra.
Can you hear me?
I don't know if I fixed it. I haven't hit record on the podcast yet, by the way. We're just talking.
Oh yeah, this is how.
Okay, good.
This is how we do it.
Just
this is how
checking.
we do intros.
I feel out of practice because it feels like more time has passed.
I'm not going to do visual gags as the intro to the podcast.
Well, I don't know. Sorry, I'm just checking my own audio levels. Yeah, that looks like I'm making sound. It's all good. It feels like so much more time has passed in between the last live stream when that's physically impossible because they're monthly. But, like,
it is.
I feel out of practice. I took a fortnight off of the music live streams because, number one, the world was on fire and my brain couldn't deal with it. Or, like, I wasn't depressed, but I was really struggling to want to write goofy electro music when, like, people were dying, so there's that.
Yeah.
And also,
Am I meant
like,
to be recording, by the way?
No, not yet. It's all good.
Cool.
And
as you said, it seems to have been a while.
Yeah, exactly. Because I looked at my thing, I was like, it's not recording. Is it supposed to be? Don't tell anyone. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I couldn't really mentally bring myself to be happy on live stream when everything was on fire. But also, my computer was just melting for a solid month.
Yeah.
So that was good. But it appears to be fixed now. And yeah, thanks to Sai, who's always actually been great. Slightly morose, but great when it comes to IT stuff. And he came over and he fixed it. And we had a socially distant ICT party. I had to throw mojitos at him. It was great.
Fucking nerds.
Yeah. How are you doing, Ben?
I'm well. To say that one is okay at the moment doesn't quite sit right.
I'm doing really well. I am in my element. I'm loving life.
I mean, there's different degrees because I felt bad when all of the furlough and stuff happened because I was doing because I was like, okay, this isn't great, but personally, it's not too bad.
Yes.
But then you feel bad about saying that because there are people who aren't doing that okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the more time that passes in 2020, the more shit seems to happen, which makes you saying, oh yeah, I'm all right, or not too bad, makes you feel stupid because you should feel kind of bad and you shouldn't really be okay because of all the shit that's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Personally, however, in my sort of Ben-centered little bubble, which I'm assuming you were asking about.
Yes.
It's all right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely an introvert, so I can quite comfortably go for weeks without talking to another person. Like, that doesn't bother me. I'm also quite comfortable in my home studio, and I realize I'm very privileged to be able to work 2 meters away from where I sleep and poop. So yeah, but it is tricky. And I've been sort of hyper aware that I'm in a situation that not many people are in. there's not a lot you can do about that. But like, I think if you're feeling similarly, which I realize perhaps not many people are in a good mood, but if you are in a good mood and you feel guilty about that, can I just say, there's a lot going on in the world, and it's very easy to Google what charities to support. So there you go. Try that. If you're feeling bad about feeling good, there's ways to even that playing field, so to speak.
Well, yeah, I think it. Yeah, I agree. That's a good sentence. What you just said. I've got very
Thanks,
little
man.
to add to it.
Yeah, I find that
But-
some of my sentences do that, but the cadence of our conversation implies that we are building on that sentence. Sandra, no! Sandra!
I'm trying. It's very difficult to get comfortable in.
Your
No,
stream is
sorry,
much
I'll
more
just-
portable than mine. I can't move
It is.
mine.
You have laptop. No,
I'm
I
all-
have laptop.
I'm all
you
hunkered
have
down.
big old towery PC thing.
Yeah. So this is the stream before the podcast, which
This hasn't started yet.
I don't know if
properly,
that's
to be
obvious.
honest.
Do we want to jump into the recording, or do we want to like give it a moment?
Shall we just jump right the F in?
Write the F in. We can. Yeah.
Right the F in. Hang on. Where's all my buttons gone? There's my buttons. Liam's typing a lot.
I am typing.
He does that.
I do that a lot. I have a lot of anger inside of me that I need to get out on YouTube comments. My thing at the moment is, you remember the Lil Wayne video?
Sure.
It sounds like you do. So I think like 10 years ago, I put up a video of Lil Wayne. And Lil Wayne, you may know, is quite a good rapper.
I know.
You know of him.
I know that he's a rapping standard.
I didn't realize that he was actually quite a big deal in terms of like the evolution of hip hop and rap. So I think it's fair to say I respect Lil Wayne as an artist more now than I did 10 years ago when I made the video. But I'm doing my best and I'm getting smarter every day, yada, yada, yada. So 10 years ago, I took a video of Lil Wayne because famously, as well as being a decent rapper, Lil Wayne is a terrible guitarist, which is fine.
Oh, yeah.
You're allowed to be good at
Yes.
one thing and bad at the other. But the problem with Lil Wayne being a bad guitarist is that no one seems to have told him that he's a bad guitarist. So I took his bad guitar playing and I overdubbed some, not wanting to toot my own horn, but some better guitar playing over the top of it, and I uploaded that to YouTube. And over the course of 10 years, it is my second most watched video, with something like 100,000 views. I'm going to get the specifics up because I like to brag. But what is amazing is the amount of comments daily that are like, I don't understand what I'm watching because I know that he's not a good guitarist, so I don't understand what this video is. 146,000. Which is
quite a few.
Which is my most popular video by a long bit. And so like
Probably by about 146,000.
I've got, hang on, there's that one which is 146,000. My takedown of Musician is about the same actually. It's 124,000. And then there's
Still
a
my
huge
favourite video that you've done.
Thank you. Then there's a gap of about 100,000, and I've got a few that are around the 30,000 mark, and then just like dwindling down to my most recent ones, which have like about 12, literally 12. So yeah, like daily there's comments going, I don't know what I'm watching. So I really love just encouraging those people and just saying like, yeah, it looks like he's really good at guitar, doesn't it? It's very confusing, very hard to work
But
out
the
what's going on. But also I've put it on the description of the video that this is a parody. Here's the video I used, which I now have more views on this one than the original video has views, which is hilarious. So, and it's really hard to it's in the description. I've written all the info there. It's there. I've done like a Wikipedia factual entry about how what a parody is, how this is a parody, and how you shouldn't do a copyright strike on this video, Warner. Literally don't know what else you could do without me. YouTube shouldn't have comments on YouTube, and I'm genuinely considering removing. Like disabling comments on that video and my musician takedown, because if people are really that angry, they will go to some of my other videos and leave those same comments. But you know what? That makes those other videos look popular.
True.
Very angry. I'm not angry. It's just weird.
I have tried to stay away from pretty much all comments because I know that it's so easy to forget any positive ones, and you will always focus on the negative ones. You will, if there's 100 comments, all of them good except one, you will go to bed thinking about that one.
Oh my god.
Mean comment.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I know for a fact that I will hold those in my mind for years to come.
Yep.
Which is why I have only read 2 comments on anything that we've done. Sorry, 3 comments that I've read. One was just a little excerpt from Reddit where I managed to piss off all of Reddit at once.
You're still angry about this.
Oh, the film's shit, but I love that people got so annoyed with me by saying, "Didn't get the film." Of course he didn't. I went, "I did get it. I studied film. It's just shit."
Yeah, people like to defend bad stuff and call you an idiot for not getting it.
Yeah, you don't need to spend that long cleaning up eggs. Another one was for the Valverde.
Oh yeah, Valverde Broadcasting.
Batman video.
Yeah.
Someone had put a timestamp of all of the times that I fucked up words, and had it as the Ben Pierson appreciation, noise appreciation comment or something.
That's perfect.
And I never knew that you could spell half of the noises that I made.
But they tried it. That's perfect, dude.
And the third and final comment that I've ever read on YouTube is that bot that comments on all of our videos saying, what is it, like good content?
Yeah.
Every single video we've got the same bot just going, good content.
I've got a really weird bot that appears, and I think the comments happened 2 or 3 times, but from different users, but it's the same comment. And it's baffling because it's worked out that my videos are about music education, and it's found videos that are specifically about kind of composition and music theory in general rather than specifically guitar, which is my niche. And what it does is it says something like that there's some actual bulk to the comment which really feels like it's referencing specific bits in the video, but now I know it's not. So you get invested in this comment, and then the second half of the comment is about, FYI, I stumbled across this app and it's really helped me learn piano, and it's called this. Check it out if you want. And when I first read that, I was like, that's okay, but I'm just going to ignore the second half of this because you're clearly trying to peddle your own stuff, whatever. And then I got the exact same comment on a different video from a different user, and I was like, something going on here. But then I looked up the product and it doesn't exist. What exists is... let me see if I can get this right. There's a really shady looking review site where like TripAdvisor, but for apps. But conceivably you can sign up with whatever your product is and get people to review it. Except that all of the products look like they don't exist, and all of the reviews look like things that don't look like people that don't exist. So that's pretty shady. And what's weird is that the name of the product, it's something like I got to get this right because there's lots of strings to it and it's hard to keep all these balls in the air. The product that in the YouTube comments is trying to promote is the name of a reviewer on this website and this reviewer on this website is praising a completely separate app that is for learning the piano, so that the YouTube commenter is describing this app, but the name of it has somehow got twisted to the reviewer, rather than the name of the app. And it's baffling, and I don't understand why anyone would think, because if someone is clearly paid for a bot to go through and find positive reviews for apps and then throw them out to the world or whatever, but like they've got it ass backwards and they're promoting the name like Sponge Lover 69XXX or whatever the commenter's name is, rather than learnpianofast.org. I don't understand the internet sometimes. It's mad. Hilarious,
It does
but
feel
mad.
like something's gone on there.
That was a big afternoon when I went down that rabbit hole. We've got some comments coming in. Oh, Cy and Emma. Mango Flash and Emma. Oh, and one of these people is you as well. Emma Hewer.
Yeah, I was saying hi.
Emma Hewer. Hello, conversation. I just feel the need to point out that hands don't need to be bloody for you to wash them. I think if your hands are bloody, you should wash them. And I feel like if your hands have got the virus on them, I feel like blood will do more than soap. I'm not a scientist, but that is how I feel about this. And I think feelings are much more important than facts. You good? You good? You good? It's the Bodily Sounds Hour with Ben Pierson. You got any farts in there?
Sorry, did that pick up on the mic?
Yeah, obviously it did. It was
Oh,
the
really?
loudest thing in the world.
I
Wait,
didn't think
did
that
you
was
think?
gonna-
Did you really think you were being covert?
Hey, I covered it with a tissue.
Mango Flush asks, "What's your most popular video?" Then I thought you said Lil Wayne was the second most popular. Yes, I thought the Lil Wayne one was the second most popular, but then I checked myself in the event that I wrecked myself. So the Lil Wayne one is the most popular. Second most popular, but not by much, is the Musician Takedown.
But
It's important to have your ducks in a row if you're going to be on the internet. Do we want to crack on with the good news?
is that the beginning of the podcast?
Yes. By the
Are we
good
gonna
news, I
st-
mean the show.
We'll be starting. Ooh.
Shall we?
I'll go on then.
Go on. This really... Last night, me and Laura were talking about like old rock bands for some reason, and like I ended up playing her some of like the really old Led Zeppelin demos and stuff. And I don't normally listen to Led Zeppelin because it's one of those things where like, yeah, the music's good, but the people are awful people, and Jimmy Page married that 14-year-old, so ultimately I don't really want to listen to Led Zeppelin anymore. But like, it's really funny just the amount of there's just this really it's not even that funny, but there was a bit where you can hear Robert Plant at the start of a song. There's loads of background noise, and he just goes, Jimmy, is the tape rolling, Jimmy? And it's the best. I can't remember what it is, but for some reason it was 2 a.m, and Jimmy, is it rolling, Jimmy? It just got us right in the funny.
It just shows that no matter how professional you are,
Is it rolling?
and I think everyone can appreciate this now with the Zoom meetings and
Yeah.
all of that shit that's necessary.
Except we don't all sound like
Can you
Michael
hear me?
Caine.
We don't all, but some do.
Very few of us.
Have you heard Michael Caine doing his impression of other people doing a Michael Caine impression?
Wait, say that again?
So, I think it was on Parkinson. Michael Caine. Everyone does an impression of Michael Caine.
Yeah.
They say, "Oh, my name's Michael Caine. Not a lot of people know that."
Yeah.
But Michael Caine was on there, and Parkinson asked him something about the impression. He said, "Well, that's the thing. I don't actually sound like that."
I like that you're doing the impression.
Because I'm trying to do a normal, actual Michael Caine.
Right.
And he goes, "Well, the thing is, I don't actually sound like that. I sound like this. But when people do impressions of me, they're like, oh, my name's Michael Caine. And a lot of people know that." And it's true. And Michael Caine does a better Michael Caine than anyone else.
He's like the opposite of Charlie Chaplin, then.
Charlie Chaplin didn't say an awful lot.
Yeah, but he also came in like 3rd place for the Charlie Chaplin lookalike
Oh yeah,
contest.
yeah. Didn't wasn't it Adele came in 2nd in
Was
an
it
Adele?
Cher? I feel like it was Cher.
I think it's happened quite a lot because I
Was
wanna
it
say,
Beyonce? Was it Taylor
is it-
Swift?
Is it Kesha?
I think it was Kesha.
I think it was Kesha.
Could dollar sign her?
What?
Could dollar sign her?
Ah, yes, that's
Because of the.
yeah.
I'm being
because of
really
the dollar
annoying.
signs.
I'm being a dick about it.
How do you pronounce Elon Musk's child's name?
Oh, I don't. Because their lives don't affect me. They have so much money, they don't exist on this plane anymore. They've like. They've just
I mean that
exceeded our reality and like gone one step above, and they just don't exist on the
'Cause-
same material plane that we do.
'Cause
You ever
what was
think
his-
he's
was
bought
it pay-
eggs? Do you reckon he's ever bought eggs? Ever? Do you reckon he knows what eggs are? Do you reckon he knows where eggs come from? Probably not.
From the cupboard.
From the cupboard.
From the maid.
From the maid.
She brings me the eggs. He was PayPal, wasn't he? That's how we got money. Was that Elon Musk?
No. Maybe? I don't know enough about the world around me. Let's Google. Why
To Google.
is Elon
Sheila,
Musk?
where did Elon Musk get his money from?
Here's what I found.
Oh no, you're right.
Oh
Oh no, hang
yeah,
on.
it's not helping me. Yeah, it just says that he's a designer. He's basically got Elon Musk.
There is something to do with it. In March 1999, Musk co-founded X.com, saucy, financial services and email payment company. And then it skips a bit and just I think X.com may have turned into PayPal. Possibly. Yeah, so yeah, there might be something to do with PayPal. That sounds familiar now.
$38.2 billion.
And that's the thing, like, when people talk about taxing the rich, it's a bit like, yeah, but
Well, the thing is,
they
you
have
could
more
take-
money you can possibly conceive of. Why not?
You could take $37.2 billion from this man.
Yeah.
And he still has $1 million.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Isn't there
Mango Flash commented, Elon Musk co-founded PayPal. He also inherited an emerald mine from his dad. That's pretty sick, I guess.
That'd help.
Yeah. If you had to go, like, carve out your own emeralds, like, at least you got to work for it. But then, so, you just did the maths there. How much money would you tax?
You could take away 37.2 billion, and he would still be a billionaire.
See, like,
And I think if you have 1 million seconds, I think that's like 11 days
Yeah.
or something. If you have 1 billion seconds, it's like 37 years.
see, if you're gonna just if you just tax the billionaires that run the world, think about that in terms of child prostitutes you could buy with that amount of money, because that's how many less children they will have sex with. Because that's happening. Watch the documentaries on Netflix. It is happening. It's gross, and for some reason they thrive off of being paedophiles, and it's gross, and we need to talk about it more because it's gross.
I genuinely.
I don't know how much
I wonder-
child prostitutes cost, so
I didn't know where you were going with that at the beginning.
do you ever?
I was like, tax them. Imagine how many. Yeah, I didn't know where you were going with that.
Or
that's-
Lamborghinis if that's your speed. I don't know.
Congratulations, you went the right way down the
Really?
child sex trafficking route.
Thank you.
Because you said it was bad. I genuinely think that. I mean, I'm agreeing with you because I feel that an awful lot. It can't just be that paedophiles have really good business acumen. That's not why they're a billionaire paedophiles. I think that because they have that much money, they feel that they can do whatever they want.
And
it's proving true. And that, I think, is the reason why they do awful, awful things like that. Because they can get away with it because they have that much money.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the original source was. I don't know if it was a tweet or just a Facebook post. But I did see a thing saying that when you get to 999,900,900, all of that.
All the
As
nines.
soon as you're one $1 away from becoming a billionaire. All of your money, every penny that you earn above that goes to other things.
Yeah.
That's not yours. That goes to housing the homeless, feeding children at school, educating everyone. All the shit that money should be getting spent on. All the good shit. All the hippie bullshit stuff.
Yeah.
Which isn't hippie bullshit. It's just should be basic human rights. That's what that goes to.
Yeah.
You get a little trophy saying you win capitalism, and they name a park after you.
Yeah. And it's the similar thing to.
I so agree with this.
It's the similar thing to defunding the police, isn't it? It's like they just don't need that much money. You could put that much money into education, raise society up so that you don't have crime because you don't need to do crime because you're educated and have a job. It's really simple. I would highly recommend that people watch the Epstein documentary on Netflix. It'll ruin your day, and it's a series, so it has the potential to ruin several days. But my God, watch it because it's. I don't think we have billionaires because of good business acumen. I think we have billionaires because people are fundamentally dishonest. Epstein didn't have qualifications. He just walked into a place and was like, yeah, I'm good with money. Give me a job. And they gave him a job because they were all crooked as well. That's how they got there. And he just kept lying and lying and lying. And eventually was like sourcing child brides for our royals and the current president of the USA. Proven. But like, it's because of dishonesty. It's the kind of person that wants to lie to the degree that gets them this kind of employment and then subsequently the wealth that comes with that. And because those people are dishonest, they then, for some reason, get into the ancient art of boy fucking. Like, it's a dishonesty thing. I don't think that just through being good at capitalism, you get that rich. You have to kind of be a cock as well. Shall we start the podcast?
Well, the thing is, I think I'm going to just add a little bit of cock onto the end of yours.
Please
there.
do. Mine's not very big.
I think if you do get to be that rich and you're not a cock, you won't be that rich for very long.
True.
Because you'll go, hey, check out all of this inexhaustible worth that I have got.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was those people who won the 1-point-something billion lottery.
Yeah.
That isn't just life-changing. That changes your entire family history from that point onwards.
Yes.
Because you're not going to get rid of that money in your lifetime. Your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren are still going to not have to work if they don't want to.
Yeah.
If you suddenly have that much money and you go, cool, this is mine, you're a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
Because there are people out there with literally nothing when you have got this dragon-worthy amount of gold under your ass.
One smaug. You have one smaug of gold.
You have one smaug's worth of gold.
Yeah.
That you ain't going to do shit with.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have a man shoot you through the heart in a very disappointing sequel.
Like, if you think about it, anytime you walk, like, anytime you're home and, like, you're walking around your local area and you see, I wish there wasn't graffiti there, I wish there was a nice mural, I wish that pothole wasn't there, I wish my neighbours didn't have to smell that smell, I wish I could do more for this homeless dude, I wish this school wasn't visibly falling apart. I wish there was more than one policeman there, but I wish that one didn't have a gun. All of those things you could change if you win that amount of money, but like you could change the the visible surroundings of your local area like immeasurably. You could do so much good for so many people. But maybe people who play the lottery aren't nice people. I don't know. I'm not making that judgment.
The COVID UK response fund, for want of a better word, and I don't know if this is all of it or if this is just a bit of it.
Yeah.
But when it was first announced, it was $3 billion.
Yes.
Elon Musk could deal with a pandemic across 12 countries the size of the UK and still have over $2 billion.
Yep. Yep.
Just saying.
Yep. I love Mango Flush. Is like, hell yeah,
I-
Viva la Revolution. It's time, comrades. Convoy Hat goes full lefty. We've always been full lefty.
We have.
Because being a lefty just means that I have basic empathy, right? That's all it is.
Hang on, sorry. We've got American billions is 1,000 million, not a million.
Oh yeah, that's true. They measure it
Do
differently.
Ameri-
Yeah.
What? Why?
This is one of those things that I just kind of occasionally forget, like how the royals killed Princess Diana, like which they proved now. Holy shit! Did you hear about that?
No.
Oh my
I mean, I
god!
knew that they had, but I didn't.
So, thank you, Irma Hure. Thanks for that. Yes, they do measure money in a different way, but it is still too much money. Yeah, the crap. What was it? This is something that Anonymous uncovered. There's like loads of. This was like when the Black Lives Matter, the riots, like properly kicked off. They released documents. Well, they re-released them because they made them public ages ago. It's just that the world wasn't really paying attention because we all had day jobs. But now that everyone's stuck at home scrolling through Twitter, they re-released them and they said, by the way, here again is the evidence we found about the child sex trafficking. Here are the connections to Trump. Here are the allegations that are made about Trump. Here are the allegations that have been made about all of these famous people. And basically, if you follow the trail, what happened is that I can't remember the names of the royals because, frankly, I don't care enough to memorize these people's names. But essentially, when Princess Diana had divorced, it was Charles, wasn't it?
Charlie.
This is the extent of my knowledge of the royals. When they divorced, she was trying to get involved with basically as much charitable stuff as she could because she was a good egg. And she tried to get involved with a specific charitable foundation that Princess Andrew's... It was either Princess Andrew or Princess Andrew's wife or partner or someone set up. And they basically said, thanks, but don't come here. And she was like, no, I'm going to come help. And they were like, don't. Because guess what they were doing? They were trafficking humans for sex. Small humans, in fact. And she uncovered all of it, and that's why they killed her. To protect Andrew. And Andrew's connections to Epstein and Trump. Just have a look on the Anonymous Twitter. It's fucking crazy, and I love it. It's well, I don't love it. It's horrifying, but like...
No, yeah. I mean, I did see the because I shared and I had a little look into it was the anonymous stuff that they did about Trump and Prince thingy.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is fucking scary. This is awful. And someone went, yeah, these documents are years old.
Yep. None of it's new.
Cool. That doesn't mean that we can just go, oh, that's old. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's
still bad.
There's no statute of limitations for murder. I'm not sure what the statute of limitations is for the things that they did.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's long time.
Speaking of limiting
and
statues...
it hasn't been that long time.
Yeah. I was going to make a joke about statues, but I think... Shall we just start the podcast? Because, like, isn't it hilarious? Because that we always say that, like, we try not to be... political because we don't want to date the show. That's why we have these crazy fucking conspiracy theory rants before we start the actual recording.
This is why we do it on the live stream because it's dated anyway, literally dated.
Yeah,
you can see when
this
was.
That's you make a good point. Yeah,
I watched the episode of Doctor Who Blink with the first one with the weeping angels.
Oh yeah.
The statues that do this and they come and get you.
Yeah,
I watched that. I think about... I mean, this was the thing. I watched it the day before the 13-year anniversary of that episode without realising.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure that was a few days before all these statues started coming down. So
Uh-huh.
I wonder if other people had been watching it.
Quite possibly.
It's not about racism. They just don't want to get got by space angels.
Mango Flush says quite rightly, how has the podcast not started yet? The podcast today, the subject is good news. If you can believe that, that's why the title is Celebrate Good News. And the government's involved, Epstein's involved, capitalism is a lie, Weinstein didn't Epstein himself, etc. Shall we hit record?
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, this is the stuff that we do live because, like, it could just get muted, and then, like, the handful of us who are watching are going to be the only ones that know the truth. Vive la revolution, etc. Shall we start?
Indeed. Yep, let's bring this shit down.
Do you want to do the intro?
I'll do the intro.
Okay, I have hit record. Go on, Ben.
As have I.
Oh, shit.
Welcome to... Oh, for fuck's sake, Liam.
Sorry about that. I'm done. Are you ready?
Welcome to the conversation. Oh, fuck.
What? I was... Do it.
That was me.
Do it, you whore.
Welcome to the Conversation Hat podcast, the live stream edition, where Liam ruins the intros constantly. Welcome to us talking about it. This is the podcast version, obviously, not the live stream version. Epstein didn't kill himself. Trans women are women. Black Lives Matter. We're talking about good news because shit's going on in the world.
Ben,
Liam, how are you?
I'm doing really well. I'm trying this new thing called empathy, where it's literally you just think about how other people are and whether your actions or the things that you say will affect those people negatively. I believe this makes me a lefty snowflake. I just think it's compassion, you know? I don't think that race or whether other people should be alive or have a better or worse quality of living is a political issue. I just think about what would happen if it was me. I guess that makes me mental.
That makes you selfish, Liam, thinking about yourself, putting yourself in other people's shoes.
You know what? It makes me feel really good about myself. It really does. I feel great. I'm an excellent person. I'm doing really well. We had a bit of a deep dive into the world of everything's crazy. If you caught the live stream, good for you. If you didn't, it will have been taken down. Holy shit, we went some places. No way is that still online. But do go and find it on the dark web. Darkweb.com, I think, is where you go for that. Don't type that in. Whoops. Don't type in darkweb.com. It's .net.
No, don't go on darkweb.com.
Darkweb.org.
Surely it would be darkweb.gov.
Ooh. I don't get it.
The government is corrupt and full of paedophiles is basically what we were saying earlier.
That was the gist of it. But that's not the topic of discussion. We're talking about good news.
Good news.
Because the world's on fire for good reasons. And
hang on, sorry, stop. This is just for live stream. We've got a room full of dogs. A room full of dogs.
How did you keep that quiet?
They've just wandered in.
And yet somehow they weren't making noise. How was that quiet? Just bedlam, dog. Yeah, no, there's paedophiles everywhere.
The thing is, I'm in a house at the moment.
Really?
But only one dog lives.
That's a mystery.
And 2 dogs entered the room just now.
Yes. Which one was one of those the dog that you live with?
The smaller black one.
Right, and he's got a big friend.
I'm staying with friends at the moment during lockdown.
You got a bubble.
So that's their dog, and there was a secondary dog. I do apologise for that interruption.
Dog party. No, that was great. Like, more dogs. It's all good. This is a ostensibly comedy podcast. By God, we should try harder with that.
Yeah.
A podcast for geeks, artists, and terrible people. Ben has alluded to the fact that we are live streaming. So if you're watching on twitch.tv/Convoy Hat Podcast or YouTube haven't given us a URL. Thanks, YouTube. Hi. If you're watching. If you're not watching, you can go and watch us live, because I don't know what heinous bullshit I'm going to say next. And frankly, as soon as the live stream stops, that becomes Laura's problem.
And frankly...
She was a controversial figure, wasn't she? Oh, why was she hiding if she was so innocent? See, I didn't know I was going to say that. That came out of nowhere. I can't control it.
Oh my god, I'm so gonna use. Oh, every time someone says, well, you know, if they've done nothing wrong, they shouldn't have anything to be afraid of. I'm using Anne Frank with that. Yeah.
You didn't
Jesus
know her.
Christ.
Did you read her diary?
I haven't, to be honest.
She was not okay. I can't read, so oh, I derailed myself, and I feel like it's my responsibility to recover.
I agree.
This is a podcast. My first bit of good news. We're just going to talk about good news because the world is all screwy at the moment.
Yes.
There are wonderful things happening in the world, and there are wonderful things happening in the world as a result of some of the heinous stuff that is coming out. So we're going to talk about the good.
Point out.
Go on.
Sorry. I would like to point out that we're not doing this to ignore the important and awful stuff. So, because if you hadn't guessed, we are against the bad stuff. We know it's going on.
Don't speak for
We don't
yourself,
want
Ben.
that.
Come on.
We don't want to ignore it or to draw attention away from it or diminish it. But hey, here's a little bit. If it's important to take a breath before you get stuck back into explaining to racists that racism is stupid.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to just block them and say fuck you, but if you explain to them that they are being racist and that's a bad thing, hopefully they'll be at least a little bit less racist. But we're not going into that today. We're talking about good things, good newses.
Katie Hopkins permanently removed from Twitter. Do you want to know how they did that? Thing number one is if you actually report people on Twitter, if enough people do it, they have to do something about that. Thing number two, report someone and then block them. Because you don't need to see the same hideous bullshit again and again and again. Report them because you've taken a step to get them removed from the platform, and whether or not the platform does that is out of your hands at that point, but then block them because there's no point in seeing what they do. People like Katie Hopkins rely on people seeing her and talking about her, and I'm kind of doing that now. If you don't like something, block it. Don't engage, because you engaging in it raises their profile. It's like how my takedown of Musician keeps getting views when people apparently like Musician because they keep commenting that they like Musician, so YouTube thinks it's a good video when it's not. Just making people talk. Social media relies on social interaction. Block the fuckers. Report them and block them, and that's how they get removed, because if enough people block them, Twitter goes, oh, they might actually not be good people. Nah. And they're such bad people that it's not that people are calling them out, it's that people are blocking them. That's what you gotta do. Play the game, y'all. Good news number one. Fuck you, Katie Hopkins. Tick next to that bullet point.
I completely agree with that, because I think that the only reason that she was ever mentioned was because of the horrible shit she'd say.
Yep.
And that was it. And I think that would possibly even encourage her to say worse things.
Oh, yeah.
Because then she'll be on telly more. But
yeah,
now
exactly.
That she's blocked, shall we try and do the same for Trump?
Trump's trickier because, like, his insanity is a matter of historical importance, because we want to make sure that we don't get another idiot in the White House.
Let's not vote for more reality TV stars.
I mean, let's not have reality TV. How about that? Let's just live our lives. Or, like, read a newspaper that isn't full of shit. Oh my god, I know we said we would get onto good news, and I fully intend to. I accidentally read some Daily Mail the other day. And I've always sort of known in the back of my head that the Daily Mail was like a garbage rag. But what I didn't realise is they don't actually give you any information. They just tell you whose side you should be on. You don't get any story. It's just this guy good, this guy bad. And it could have been this particular writer, but I'm just going to assume they represent the whole of Daily Mail. Whatever. The article was...
They're employed by Daily Mail, so...
Well, quite. The article...
Daily Mail's got to be happy them representing.
Oh, exactly. The article was about a interaction between Keir Starmer, Labour Party leader, and Boris Johnson, fuckboy official of the UK, puppet to shady Russian billionaires. And there was no information. The gist of the story was Boris Johnson 1, Keir Starmer 0. But they didn't tell you what they were debating. They didn't tell you who said what. There was no information. It was literally just Boris Johnson made Keir Starmer look like a right twat today. He made him look like a twat with his silly hair. Boris Johnson stood up and said some words. Keir Starmer sat there and was like, uh-oh, I've made a mistake. No information. Just literally, these are who you root for. These are the wrong uns. Crazy. I didn't realise that. I knew that they were baddies, but I didn't realise it was that bad, you know? Scary.
It is.
And that's
like,
news. That is official news.
Well, it's a newspaper. It's bollocks. You might as well read the Beano. At least that's a laugh and it.
Oh my god! But there's a plot to the Beano. There's a narrative and a character arc. Like everything you want from a story.
My my mate said the other day, because she knows that I hate the Daily Mail with a passion.
Yeah.
I think that was because I used to sort of live with someone who would read it.
Oh god.
So I had constant experience of that Daily Mail reader, and it was, as you said, there was no information behind the things they were saying. I was like, well, that's not true, is it? It's this.
Yeah.
Well, it was in the paper, and well, your paper's not good. Your paper has so many redactions that it's basically a front page and then nothing else.
Yeah.
Apart from me going, yeah, this was wrong.
At least with like radio, people have to be sure of the thing they're saying because they could say something accidentally and not be able to take it back. So at least you've got to be sure of something on radio. But with a paper, you can just write whatever and then disappear. Like, which seems silly because you'd think a paper would be like in print forever. But like, I don't know. I don't know.
They've had front page spreads that they've then retracted, saying we have absolutely no evidence of this.
But on the back page.
On the front page, and
yeah,
that's
exactly.
fine.
Yeah.
No, I think it was like 1 minute past midnight on a small obscure part of their website.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it's the same. If you look on, like, it's just the same sentence or the same couple of sentences over and over and over again until it fills up however many words they need for a thing.
That's not good news, though, is it?
Take all of the Daily Mail from your newsagent, take it to the cereal aisle, hide it behind the Weetabix.
Yeah. Or hide it behind Corona beer, because no one's buying Corona beer.
Yeah.
That's where you want to put it.
They did take a hell of a kick in the stocks.
Yeah, it was like that Heineken virus a few years ago. Remember that? No.
I know.
I made that
Remember
up for
when
comedy.
Bird flu was around and KFC had to close?
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't happen. More news, please, Liam.
Do you want some stuff that did happen? So, like, we said we'd collect some good news. I've got a few notes here. Some of it is just stuff that's good for us and doesn't affect anyone else. We have new merch.
Cool.
That's good news number 2. We have new merch. If you're watching the live stream, you will probably see an advert under our faces pop up. We've got like a little carousel of images. We've got merch. I believe it's TeePublic. I keep going to say Teespring. That's a different website. If you go to TeePublic and search Conversation Hat Podcast, there's loads of good stuff there. You can get face masks to protect yourself from corona with. If you are watching on Twitch, you can scroll down and there is a merch button right there. You can tell it's a merch button because it's got a t-shirt on it. I'm very excited about that. I might buy myself a Conversation Hat face mask.
Do we actually sell coronavirus face masks?
I mean, they're just regular face masks, but yeah. Yeah, no, that thing I posted on Facebook was real. That's legit stuff that we sell now. They're like £7.
Cool.
And they got the logo on. Like, it's pretty cool. I can see why you think that might be a fake product, but no, those are real. So that's good news number 1. Shall I do some?
I have a good news.
Do you have how many good news do you have, just so we can structure this?
2.
You have 2. I have 3 good news, and then another 2 things that are basically good things that I have done.
Well, I have 2 bits of good news from around the world.
Okay, let's go for one of yours.
And then I have things that I found exciting since the last. So I'm going to put this. I'm going to put the one that's linked to unpleasant stuff before the just nice one.
Nice.
So there was a. Sorry, let me just. This was in Buffalo, New York. where hot wings come from.
Yep.
Not as someone that I used to know tried to convince me. The chicken wings are not named after a cut of meat from the buffalo called a wing.
What? Why would they be?
Yeah,
Why?
because this guy thought that they were.
Man, you need to hang
But,
out with better people. I swear to God.
Oh, I've not.
Was this the
is
Daily Mail
voice
dude
of
as
a-
well? Does that make sense?
No, I've not spoken to this person in many years.
Jolly good.
He kept trying to convince me that all food comes from Buffalo. Buffalo, New York was the first place that sort of like, we have spicy wings.
Yeah.
So that's why they're called Buffalo wings. Have some information.
Facts.
There was some protests there.
Yep. As you do.
As, protests good. Annoyingly, like one of the downsides from protests that will just be focused on by people who don't like the protests, a mass gathering of any people are going to leave some mess.
Oh, yeah.
Festivals, marches or protests, no matter what the cause, there's gonna be mess.
Yeah.
There was he's a high school senior,
Mm-hmm.
Antonio Gwynn Jr.
Quite the name there, Antonio. Well done.
At 2 a.m. after the protests, he started cleaning.
Yes. Good man.
And he kept cleaning for 10 straight hours.
Wow.
There was the organised cleanup crew turned up the next morning, and he'd done almost all of it.
Although I
been
got to
working
say
for
that
like
they
6
thought
hours.
about it and they got their own tidy up crew. He could have just
Yeah,
waited
there
to
was
do
a
it with
cleanup
them.
crew.
But
He
that's
could have done, but
that's
he
still
just,
cool, man.
He just sort of looked and went, "There's a mess. I'll get
Yeah.
on that."
Yeah, yeah. Especially like that's the thing that often you don't think about the impact of protests, no matter how important or how silly they are, or how important or how silly you deem them to be. The impact on like the local residents of that area, I think, often gets bypassed. So it is like, I can imagine if there was a protest outside of my house, I'd be like, man, I just want a nap. I care about this issue, but I really want to sleep. So like, I mean, good for him for just like taking it into his own hands, and that is something that we've seen from the riots and the protests. Personal responsibility is incredibly important. So absolutely good for him. Good stuff.
And I was this is not the end of my good news.
Oh heck,
for
there's
this.
more.
Did
Did they make a statue of him?
Nah, not right now.
Didn't own enough slaves.
There could be confusion.
You want a statue, you better own people. That's what I'm saying.
It got onto a local news report.
Oh yeah.
And this guy had a Mustang convertible
Mm-hmm.
that he didn't know what to do with. So he donated it to the guy who did the cleanup.
Yeah.
This dude, Matt Block. He didn't really want to sell the car, but he needed to get rid of it, so he just gave it to Antonio, sort of as a thanks.
That's dope.
Which is it's really weird because Antonio's mum had died a couple of years ago. Sorry about that. She also used to drive a red Mustang.
Whoa, okay.
So he's got so not only, props for doing this, he's got rewarded with a car that his mum used to drive.
That's cool.
He was going to start trade school at the end of near the end of this year, so he could save up money to go to college. After hearing about this, Madeline College has offered him a full scholarship. So,
Wow. That's good.
good dude, did really good selfless thing,
Yeah.
and Jesus Christ, was he rewarded for it?
And it's important to say, don't do good things for the rewards. You should do good things
No,
for the sake of
absolutely
its
not.
intrinsic value.
I was
But
about to add, this isn't just the one thing he's done. He's done loads of community work for the church and other things. So yeah, don't go out and do good stuff just because you might get things from it.
but
That's not what
there
he
is a
did.
bonus. Like, people notice good. People know about the good.
Yeah,
That's
do
cool.
stuff not to be noticed, but don't think that the good things you do go unappreciated
Totally.
or just under the radar.
Yeah.
People don't ignore it. People do see.
Absolutely.
So that's my bit of good news.
That's a really good one. Nice one.
Thank you.
I just wanted to touch
Shout
on.
out to Antonio.
Yeah, good job, buddy. Come on the podcast.
If you want to come on the show.
Listen to podcasts.
We'll send you some merch.
Send
you
you
can
a
wear it to
hat.
college.
What's your PO box? He got a scholarship, a car, and a hat
And
with the old logo on it. Because we've got to get rid of them. Ben and Jerry's. They're good.
Ben and Jerry's.
Ben and Jerry's. I've always basically appreciated Ben and Jerry's because they taste good and they cost a bit of money, which makes it feel like a treat. It came out. I don't have any information on this really, other than what I've been told. So like, you might have more info than I do. I just remember Laura told me this. It came out recently that aside from Ben and Jerry's, the co-founders Ben and Jerry, constantly protesting and constantly being arrested for protesting, they're just going to be on the right side of history. They also, the reason they cost as much as they do is because they employ recently released convicts, and not only do they employ them, they pay them off to actually get on their feet and, you know, work towards home ownership. And we know that in America, the criminal justice system is all kinds of messed up. If you want to watch the documentary 13th on Netflix, it's a bit of a day ruiner as well. I realized we were talking about the Epstein documentary before the podcast. That is absolutely a day ruiner. This is less so, but it's very interesting learning about the criminal justice system in America and how it's basically exists to put young black men in prison, and it all dates back to the slavery being abolished, and the only way for the South to essentially reinvigorate and re-employ, air quotes, its workforce was to unfairly imprison young black men. Terrifying.
Which is why America has the highest incarcerated population in the world, I believe.
Yes.
1% of all American citizens are in prison.
Yeah.
So you can't say that the slave trade doesn't still exist.
Because you don't have
banging
rights.
People up for nothing.
You can be worked to the bone as a convict, and when you leave prison, you can't vote. Did you know that?
You can't vote.
You can't vote. Yep. That's what my face did as well.
Like, even if it was
Nope.
double parked.
No. If you go to prison, you do not vote. Right?
So you go to prison,
Yep.
perhaps unjustly.
Almost certainly.
We can't ignore the fact that race would probably play a part in it.
By
or
golly,
may
it
well
does.
Play a part in it.
Yeah.
No, not all cops are racist, but the ones that are shouldn't be.
I mean,
cops.
statistically, you probably are. Like, let's just look at the numbers. And if
that's
you're
just-
not, the system is, so whatever.
Yeah, I have a friend who's a policeman. He's not racist. He's a lovely bloke. Love him to bits. However, you cannot say that racism does not exist in the UK police system or any.
It's systematic.
It exists everywhere.
Systematic.
So you get arrested, possibly unjustly. You are then essentially a slave with zero rights, no good living conditions.
You can't get good jobs, if any job.
You may well. Oh, I'm still in prison at the moment. I've not got to that part.
Oh yeah, sorry, carry on.
You may get stabbed by other criminals, actual criminals, or people who were innocent that have had to become more aggressive criminals because hey, they're in prison with no rights.
Mm-hmm.
If you get out of prison, you can't get a job.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be fired if you lie about this. We've all seen Ant-Man. If not, go see Ant-Man. It's good.
Less of
You
a
can
day
get
ruiner
fired.
than the films
You
I'm
can-
recommending. More of an
Yeah.
uplifting film.
You can get fired just by having a job and not telling them.
Yep.
And then you can't vote to change that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Go watch 13th. Watch 13th. It's crazy town. Anyway, Ben and Jerry's.
Land of the free.
Land of the, unless you're black, literally. So Ben and Jerry's, a shimmer of silver lining in the big crazy cloud of bullshit. They employ released convicts, an actual wage, I believe, greater than, let's just call it the equivalent of a living wage or a working wage here, minimum wage, enough that they can actually get on their feet and have a life, which is incredible. I will pay for their massively overpriced ice cream because I know where that money goes now.
I would say that it's not overpriced if that's what they're doing.
Well, quite, yeah.
I'd say that's a damn affordable way of getting good ice cream and helping other people out.
I'm reading the YouTube comments. Umahua, that's fun to say. Even more good news with Ben & Jerry's is that they also sell the cookie dough chunks in bags in the freezer section. That's better than the whole convicts thing. That's the real good news. Holy shit.
You can go and buy the chunks?
I'ma get diabetes. You want to get diabetes with me?
Yeah.
Hells yeah.
And also, it's great. It's nice to see that they're getting arrested. I say nice to see they're getting arrested, but there's other companies going, we stand with this. This is what we do. Ben and Jerry.
I see what you mean. Okay, sorry.
The actual sorry. No, Ben and Jerry. Ben and Jerry.
Careful.
About bloody time. Jerry are being arrested show that because there are other companies going, yay us, we Black Lives Matter, we stand with you and stuff. Ben and Jerry are fucking out there.
Yeah.
To the point where they're going, fuck this, to the point we go into prison.
Yeah. Good.
Does that mean that they can vote?
No, but they get to employ all these convicts, so I assume they have some kind of rudimentary militia if they ever want to actually rise up. But I think there's a difference between jail and prison. If you can be arrested and put in jail overnight, but you might not actually go to prison. I think if you go to jail, you can still vote. If you go to prison because you're convicted of a crime, it's not just that they wanted to get you off the streets because of the protesting. I think jail and prison, there's difference there. Okay. I don't know.
All right,
that's my educated guess.
I would say that makes a bit more sense, but
yeah. Because you can be arrested and put in the prison overnight, but you don't go to prison, so that's fine.
Right.
I have more selfish news. The podcast is on Acast now, which is lovely, because Acast are one of the bigger, I believe, UK-based podcast platforms.
Run by James Acaster.
No, but it could be. I never made that connection before. Podcast joke from Ben there. Rare. Yeah. Good stuff. Acast are one of the bigger platforms, and it was nice that the second we ticked over onto Acast, well, not the second, a day later, there was a slight upswing in listens. So I was like, oh, that's why.
Pleasant.
So that was cool. They recently changed their system. I think you could only be on Acast if you were hosted by Acast. We like to do things independently, so we're not quite self-hosting, but whatever. So it was nice that actually they opened the gates to independent and people who host elsewhere like us. So that was very cool, and there was an ever so slight upswing in listens. Remind me at the end, and I'll do the shout-outs to the cities that are listening across the world, because every now and again a city will pop up and literally one person in Azerbaijan or Canada or somewhere just listened to 80 episodes. I was like, wow, they ruined their weekend.
I do love those people.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I think we had 2 listeners in Iraq at one point.
Yes.
And then 3 weeks later we had 6.
Yep.
So I like to think that they told their friends.
Yes. And then they binged it as well, which is great. It is nice when you get spatterings here and there, maybe people trying out or listening to a couple episodes, but then you get what is obviously one person just listening to like the whole back catalogue in a row. I'm like, how are you functioning at the end of that? But the truth is, none of us are at the moment. So that's dope.
Absolutely. And we thank all of the people that listen,
massively.
but particularly those nutters who go through it all in 2 days.
You good lord, there's something wrong with you. Yeah, thanks for that. If you like the show, you can leave a positive review on your app of choice, and that actually
Only
does an awful
positive.
lot. Yeah, don't leave a negative review. If you have something bad to say, it's at
Shove it up
Boris
your arse.
Johnson on Twitter. Tell him your problems with our podcast. Ben, do you wanna have a go of some good news?
Yeah, I've got my last little nugget.
Nug.
This I think is just good news.
Mm-hmm.
Without it necessarily having to be bad. I mean, we all know that. Well,
What?
I mean, we all know
What?
that.
What was that sentence?
What? Okay, so the last one was linked to negative things.
Gotcha.
This one not so much.
It's just good.
We all know that climate change is happening. and
You
that it's
said
not
it was
good.
what? No, this is bad.
No, this isn't bad. This is a positive.
I don't like climate change.
I don't like climate change,
Right.
and nor do a lot of other people, which is good.
Crazy
because,
lefties.
Inspired by Japan,
Okay.
there are tiny forests springing up all around Europe. So,
Did Japan have tiny forests?
that's
Bonsai trees.
Using,
Sorry, when you
using
say
method-
tiny forests, do you mean like 3 trees or like bonsai tiny?
a forest contained in a smaller area.
Gotcha.
So the trees are
land
not
mass.
small,
Ah,
but the floor space.
right. Got it.
Using methods of Japan's most famous botanist, European countries are beginning to dot their urban landscape with tiny forests, as productive and biodiverse as any in wilderness areas, yet sometimes only as big as a tennis court.
Oh,
It's done by volunteers. It's indigenous plants and stuff. Yeah,
That's lovely.
thought, it started off, the botanist in question is Akira Miyawaki, his botanist from 1970, who first
did it.
what was this? Noticed trees around Japan's Shinto and Buddhist shrines tended to be native species, well adapted for soil and climate islands of Japan.
Cool.
So they thought that they would.
Do that.
I mean, there's a big old article that I'm not going to read all the information.
What's
for.
what's the source? What's the website if people want to know more?
It's actually goodnewsnetwork.org.
I was going to talk about Good News Network. Yeah.
Hey, well, I
Big
mean,
tick next to that one.
I don't see why we can't move on. I'm just going to add that because of how it works, the trees will capture more CO2 because they're in the middle of a city, I guess.
Yeah.
And they'll grow up to 10 times faster than in a normal forest. I'm guessing because you can put the trees where you know they're going to get light. They don't have to fight other plants to start growing, so they'll grow quicker.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, there's
I love it because you think
There's
about
a
like
good
there's so many like little dots of land around that like actually I know they want to build flats there, but you could just have like a really nice little green area, especially when like the carbon emissions and like all the nasty stuff was massively reduced when we all went into lockdown. And it's going to be such a shame if we just like immediately get back into destroying the planet. So like offsetting it with like these mini little forests, I think is like really good. And I think actually more of that. Definitely.
yeah. I mean, I used to get the bus. I guess it was mainly through laziness before all this.
Yeah.
I now have a bike,
Well done.
cheaper, healthier.
Cambridge.
I see lots of people are complaining about wearing face masks on the bus and on public transport.
Yeah.
Get yourself a bike.
Yeah. Sort it out.
You can find them on Facebook thingy. There's bike shops. There's people, and then you never have to pay for the bus again.
Or just don't be a cock.
You're healthier. You're not on the bus. It's
Yeah.
it's good. No, I've been attempting to. Liam may know. I'm not sure if listeners. I grow a lot of plants,
Yeah,
not weed.
Yeah,
Before we get into that,
you just buy it
no drug
wholesale.
plants. Wait.
Tip your dealers.
Tip your dealers.
Tip
They're
your
having
dealers.
a hard time now too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm growing lots of plants. I'm starting to try and grow little trees, which I will then hopefully rehouse into big trees.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Like, I'll give them to people like, hey, you want an apple tree? Here's an apple tree. I think that's a good thing because obviously not in my lifetime, but a few of those will hopefully become big old trees that will outlive me and suck up all of the bad CO2s. Try and offset your carbon footprint in different ways than just saying you don't want to go vegan.
Yeah, there's other things you can do.
Because that's a lot. I don't want to go vegan because you don't have to go vegan. Plant some trees, get a bike.
Yeah. I'm just going to open this Nitro Cold Brew Mocha. Look at that guy. He's adorable.
Is it a duck or is it a pigeon?
I think it's a duck with legs. I've had this in my my fridge for ages. It might actually be off by now.
Well,
that was a noise.
I have a horrible feeling that the two brands were, because I'm about to have some Monster Energy drink. I said I was watching Doctor Who the other day, so
shall we dink it? Shall we try and dink?
Hang on, I need to open it.
Okay.
So I bought the Doctor flavored Monster Energy.
It smells horrid.
Dink.
Dink. Lovely.
Oh, it smells fruity. But yeah,
it's just coffee.
I really hope that these two companies aren't like pouring nuclear waste into the ocean and setting fire to people on bikes. If so, I won't buy Monster anymore, and I apologise.
This company might not exist because the best before date is 2018.
Yeah, mine. I hope mine isn't.
I think the company may well not exist anymore. That's cool.
Mine's 2021. Mine's Halloween 2021.
Good News Network, I believe, is a US-based website that just collates nice news, very similar to what we're doing. Were all of your facts? Were all of your facts from that website?
No.
Just that one.
Not all. Both of my facts.
Okay, that's good. 50% is good. My plan was to go through Good News Network and steal some, but actually I managed to find a couple others just through the internet. So Good News Network, if you live in the Americas, or you're in the rest of the world but feel like you could use some good news about the world in general, goodnewsnetwork.com is a great place to go for like just a little hint of positivity. I have two actual ones and then a self plug at the end. I saw Flaming Lips, the Flaming Lips band, on Late Show with Stephen Colbert. They did a Zorb gig. They were in like their little bubbles.
Oh yeah.
They're in their little bubbles. So all of the band members were in their own little bubble, and they had audiences, and the audience members were in their little bubble. And there's like a woman having a dance with her baby in their bubble. That was very cute. Acoustics were a bit janky because of the nature of resonance in bubbles, but whatever. I thought that was quite cool. Like, obviously a stunt for the Late Show, I think, but like, I thought that was pretty nifty. Because obviously, like, live music is a bit dead at the moment. We're supposed to be easing lockdown, but I'm telling you now, that's not a good idea.
Nope.
I work in music education, and we have a lot of events, like 10 events a year, a lot. We're talking about not having any this year, so you can expect, for health and safety purposes and like gathering and such, and schools are going to be really weird from September as well. Like, you wait, it's going to be surreal. Don't expect to be going to any gigs for a year. Like, if you're bored now,
yeah,
it's going to get worse. So we do need to, I think, number one, we need to think about what we do for entertainment. I've been enjoying doing live streams and watching live streams. I've been playing D&D over Skype, and I've been watching a lot of D&D on Twitch. That's a laugh. I watched one yesterday or the day before with Sue Perkins, Thomas Middleditch,
wow.
Thomas Middleditch, and Reggie Watts, which was incredible.
Um,
And the guy that played the comic book owner in Big Bang Theory, and 2 other comedians I didn't know, but that was amazing.
oh, cool.
Very, very good show
Sue
there.
Perkins.
Yeah, man. She did a charity one with all British comedians, and like I guess she's been on all the D&D shows since. So I think it's just the official Dungeons and Dragons on Twitch is really dope if you're a nerd and want to kill some time. So I think there are a lot of events happening online. So my first hope is that we reevaluate what entertainment is and the nature of live events, and people become more prepared to enjoy things online, like a podcast, for example, because we're just not going to be able to have live music in a traditional sense for a while. So I hope that if you like a band and if you've liked seeing a band live, go and find them, because one or more of the band are probably streaming, like almost definitely. Hopefully not on Facebook because they evil, but YouTube and Twitch are marginally less evil compared to Facebook. So in the hierarchy of goodness, you can do slightly better by going to Twitch or YouTube. I guess it depends if you like Amazon or Google more.
Yeah.
So that's thing number one. I think we'll have to reevaluate what entertainment is and the value of what live is. So that's going to be weird. Do you have thoughts on that before thing 2?
Well, I was going to say, in regards to entertainment, I have recently been trying to... Because I was trying to be very productive at the beginning of this, and trying to get things done. I've not done much exercise, as much as I
oh my
promised
God.
myself I would have done.
I'm such a garbage human.
But, I mean, I've stopped drinking almost completely compared to how I used to. Well, I used to drink a lot.
But was it a thing that you did, or was it a social thing?
Both.
Okay. But you're like Matt, you're like the extreme of an extrovert, I think. Like, you seem to thrive off of being around other people.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't, but that's just my impression of you.
But like that bit is sort of a positive.
Mm.
So after being productive for a certain amount of time, you kind of run out of some stuff to do.
Yeah.
So I thought, all right, I've not played video games or really watched Netflix for quite some time.
Yeah.
And I think you've frozen, but I'm going to keep going.
I think you've frozen. So one of us is in the wrong here.
Oh no, there you are.
Am I back?
So I've tried
you're not back for me, but you're
start
still
watching
making sound.
new things and playing new.
I don't think he can hear me. This is good, isn't it? Can I? Just going to give away the trade secrets. Oop. He's coming back, y'all. Ooh, he's coming back. I assume so, because he's got little loading squares there. I'm just going to have to hold down the fort now. And I'm not very interesting by myself. I don't know if you know that. I can talk about music, but you don't want me to talk about music, because that's not why you're here. Come on, Ben. You can do it. Come on, Ben. Mango Flash, quick, replace him with me. No, because you're not recording audio your end. That wouldn't make for a good podcast. Ben sent me the word ooh. When did he send that? Just now. This is the joy of doing stuff live. It's exciting. Right, let's end the call. And let's join video call. Let's see what happens. Working 9 till 5. Oop. Trying to make internet happen. Can I end the call? No. I wish I had a list of facts for if it goes on. Hang on, I'm going to put the sketches on for a second, because that's why we have the sketches. And we'll be right back. Probably. How you want your worldly possessions divided up after you die and split up between all those left alive while you are dead. Grief can do silly things to people. So why not let someone else take care of your own business, and then you can just go back to living whatever kind of life you want. Judgment free, eventually. There will be problems. Us, as Rasma Life Insurance, that's the Rasma guarantee that not for you. And it's not even that expensive. You just got to write a blank check, and then we'll fill all of the numbery type things. You don't got to worry about nothing. No, want to get into heaven, don't you? How are you going to get into heaven when your family doesn't even know what you've left them? But I can see you're busy and not interested, so I'll see you later. Goodbye. What the f-
Jeremy Mange, his parents estranged. They wanted a daughter, so they made an exchange.
This might look like any other under 12's hardcore shindiggy rave doodah, but it may surprise you to know that all these children are on drugs. It might cause you more shock and vexation to further your knowing and know no further that these children are actually in their 80s and or 90s. The new drug taking the elderly by storm and or hurricane. Hashtag YOLO AP. This old cow has just spent the last of her winter fuel allowance on hashtag YOLO AP. Look at the grin on her smug, wrinkled old fucking face. She knows in just a few minutes she'll be a child again, free to relive an unsanctioned, if only temporary, additional adolescence. Except this time without all the rationing and bombs.
What am I going to feed them on?
A puma.
Are they coloured?
Taken subliminally, the drug can last up to 2 2/4 days, but if one were to double dip in the fountain of youth, the effects could last up to 3 3/3 of a week. It is in the second week of regressionol where participants risk a YOLO-apse. It is in this state where the truly hardcore raving begins. Here we see how wrong things can go. This batch of hashtag YOLOAP was cut with Werther's Originals and cod liver oil. The mental effects are the same, but without the desired physical effects. The pensioner will continue to rave until expiration, about 10 seconds from now, at a huge expense to the taxpayer. Even worse, when we look at the creation of hashtag YOLOAP, we see the drug is harming small communities. Here we see farmers gathering the grains used to create the drug. Although harmless in its natural state, fumes generated in the fermentation process have been proven to cause a deformity known as babyface. The afflicted suffer with inconvenient youth, meaning they must always carry proof of age when attempting to buy alcohol and ciggies. Side effects often include avoidance of homework, unsafe driving, unrequited morning wood, sugar, Harry Potter obsessions, and dead legs. In rare cases, many OAPs have become stuck in adolescence and have to plan for the future. Marriage, employment, university. University inevitably means more drugs, I'll have you wager. Surprisingly, users of hashtag YOLOAP make up the highest percentage of teenage pregnancies. Some parents now worry about intergenerational whoopsie-doodles, the progeny of their progeny dangling like pendulous wilting berries off of the family tree.
I was wondering if you'd like to go to the Strand to see a movie Saturday night. Or if you'd rather go with the gang on a skating party and weenie roast. Weenie roast.
Curiously, hashtag YOLOAP barely affects those under the age of 70. Users claim to feel symptomless nausea before appearing to regress to the point before they first took the drug. Hope is on the horizon, however.
Good.
I'm good too. Hi. I noticed that...
Sorry about that.
Funny thing number one is Mango Flush was saying, quick replace Ben with me. And then I was like, don't worry, we got it. And then when we cut to the sketches... The be right back, we goofed up. The first person to appear was Mango
Was
Flush.
suck.
In the
Mango Flush. Little bastard.
in either the outtakes or the front sketch. Thank you for your offer of IT support there, Mango Flush. Don't worry, we got it. And also,
turns out that the internet just died where I
yeah,
am.
happens because we're living in the future. The other thing I was going to say is I added the hashtag YOLOAP sketch to our sketch rotation, and
Yes,
it's just
there it is.
it's the wrong aspect ratio. So there was like tiny video in a corner. Didn't know that was a thing. So I suggest you go find hashtag YOLOAP on the internet. It's probably YouTube. It's truly one of my favorite things we've ever done. And it has a rap from Queen Elizabeth. Lil Liz and the bitch
Little Liz
slaps.
and the bitch slaps. Yeah, good old Liz.
Um,
where did you
were
hear me up until before I disappeared?
I think. Oh, I was
I know
distracted
roughly
by
where
the
I
fact that I couldn't see you. We were talking about
basic-
gigs.
Yeah, basically, entertainment is where I was swooping to.
Yeah.
I've now reached the bit where it is just sort of like Netflix and video games that I'm gonna go into more because I've done as much productive stuff as I think I can fill all of my time with.
Yes.
So arguably, I know that I could be doing more stuff, but yeah. So I wanted to do Netflix and video games, and I'm now trying really trying hard to find new stuff.
Yes.
Whilst I really love playing certain video games and going back to them, I sort of picked some up and went, I've done this so many times, and I think it was because I watched the movie Rocket Man.
Okay. Interesting.
Rocket Man and Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Because both of them are such, in my opinion, amazing films.
Yeah.
To the point, my mate who I was watching them with, she said, I've never seen anyone watch a film with so much music that I know someone loves without them dancing.
Ah.
And I was like, that because the songs here aren't songs; they're part of the story.
Okay.
It's not dancing around. If you dance to it, then the meaning of the song in this context is not a song. It's
Right.
part of the story to help it move forward. And it's
Diegetic
really, really
versus
good.
non-diegetic.
It's sort of diegetic. The way that they have the songs in, it suits the mood, and
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
So those two were both really, really good movies, and they sort of inspired me to sort of want to do more.
What was the
And I
second movie?
thought-
Sorry, Rocket Man and.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh right.
the
Okay.
The Queen Freddie Mercury
Queen
one. And like they inspired me to want to like do more and create more. And I thought, why am I? Granted, I love certain video games and I love certain series and movies, but why am I just watching the same stuff over and over again? Why am I doing
Okay.
the same things over and over again when there are things out there that, I mean, those movies have been out for a while, I believe. I'd never seen them. So I feel that, like, why am I sitting and not doing stuff that I've done many times before and just sort of stagnating when there are such inspirational, new, exciting things out there?
Yeah.
So I mean, loosely linked to your thing, with entertainment, yeah, people aren't going to be able to go and see gigs and do the stuff that they would normally do for entertainment for a while because of all of what's happening. So it would be important to try and find something, even if it's of the same media. So like if you're into music, maybe try and find a new band or try a different genre, because you may love it.
Yeah.
It may change, and say you don't like it. What, you've lost an hour? But if you do like it, it could change how you see so many different things.
Yeah.
That's where I was going
absolutely.
for.
Yeah.
But the internet kicked me out, so
Yeah.
there you go.
Raya has joined us on YouTube. Nice to see you guys again.
Hi, Raya.
Likewise, buddy. I've been
Hi,
watching
Brad.
Pokemon all over again. Don't know why I ever fell out of love with the world. I rewatched all of the Pokemon stuff that's on Netflix. That was like a really nice nostalgia trip for. I think I did that towards the end of last year or early this year.
Yeah.
I was having a grumpy week, so like that was really nice. They don't have all of the original series though, which is a real pain in the ass.
They
because
have
it doesn't
Indigo
even.
League.
They don't have all of it.
Because I think they have all of it, but the way that the seasons work are weird. So Indigo League is season 1.
Yeah.
But there's no end to that.
Yes.
It just keeps going. It's like part 1, then part 2 of just one long series.
But you don't get to like.
It's
league.
not segmented as.
But I mean, like I watched
normal.
everything that is there as Indigo League, and it just ends in the middle of a story. Like they don't have all of it, is what I'm saying.
That's a shame. It's very difficult to find on DVD.
Okay.
Almost impossible to find on DVD.
Could just be scarce. Yeah, I would absolutely echo your point about if you're bored, if you feel like you have exhausted the stuff that you watch, there is so much stuff on there. I would encourage people. It's tricky because if you're listening to this podcast, you're already aware of what podcasts are, and you're probably already aware that there's some stuff on the internet now. So if you have family members, perhaps, or friends who are bored of actual telly or actual radio or Netflix or Audible or whatever, there is so much stuff online. A lot of it's really good. And it's really easy to find as well. It's just that initial barrier of, I don't really want to watch something. I don't want to commit to watching something on YouTube because YouTube is for cats and Gamergate, when it's not. There is a whole world of stuff on there. There's, if you like Fallout, for example, you might still be down on Fallout because of 76, because there's not an awful lot of game there. I'm still playing it. I'm having a great time, but I know a lot of people have played it and are bored of it. There is a great... bugger, I can't remember the name of it. There is a great...
Describe it.
It's a series, like a short YouTube series, based in the Fallout world. I think it came out around the time of New Vegas, so it's very sandy, and like it's dope. It's super indie, but it's so good, and it doesn't feel indie at all. It feels like an actual like Netflix quality show. It's called Fallout something. Let's see if I can find it. I'm not going to be able to. I think the guy was called Zach Flint.
While you're searching
Block?
for this, I want to just sort of add a little bit to the thing I said now that Rai has said about Pokemon. Woo Pokemon.
Woo Pokemon.
What I said about finding new things doesn't mean that you can't ever rewatch something, because
Yes.
don't feel like you can't go back and fall in love with a series again. I'm rewatching Avatar: Last Airbender.
Yep.
Half in preparation for the series, the live action series on Netflix that will be happening, hopefully within the next couple of years. But it's it's an amazing story as well. So don't feel like you can't go back and fall in love, rediscover something.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. This is annoying.
Any joy?
I think it was Zach Frin Frock, which is hard to say, who I know through Indie Mogul. Zach F-R-I-N, or is it Finfrock? It's Finfrock. The Wikipedia had his name wrong. Zach, Z-A-C-K, Finfrock, F-I-N-F-R-O-C-K. I believe it was he. There it is. It's called Fallout Nuka Break. I believe it's still all up on YouTube. 3 series, 15 episodes, including a pilot and a special. Really bloody good. The VFX are ridiculous. It's indie, but it's so high quality. It's crazy. If you're into the Fallout world but bored of the games because franchises get ruined at some point, Nuka Break is amazing because it came out around the Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas time. So, like, it's that, like, really give me that sweet Fallout juice nostalgia. It's so good. Haven't watched it in, like, 10 years, so it might be garbage by now. I don't know. The second point I wanted to make about entertainment and gigs and stuff is, obviously, because we're based indoors, and that can be quite horrible, and it makes us reflect on a lot of the crappy stuff that's happened to us as individuals over the years. Something that's happening a lot, which is good and bad, is that people are being called out for all the hideous stuff they've done. And we've seen that with Black Lives Matter. We've seen that with companies taking a stance on issues. We've seen some previously okay people saying horrible things and being called out because of that. The amount of male comedians that are being called out for being garbage humans by their female counterparts is crazy. It's good. It's horrible that these things happen. There's a lot of abuse going on, emotional and sexual, but like the female comedians are being super brave and just stepping forward and saying, this man did this to me. It was awful, made me feel terrible, and he made me do it because, or I felt like he made me feel like I had to do it in order to get this gig. So the way people are feeling at the moment is that this is an opportunity to rebuild entertainment industry, especially on like the indie to like mid-level area, which is just like relentless gigging. Like we've got to change the industry, and there is action taking place to make that happen, which is a good thing come from a horrible thing. So, God, the virus is a godsend in many ways. Don't quote me on that, for the love of God.
Oh, yeah, of course. You don't want to make God sound like the sort of person that would send plagues.
Yeah, if only someone wrote books about that. Yeah, exactly. It's so that is going to be a positive thing, and I hope that we are able to rebuild the comedy industry. And I say that as a cis white male, knowing that our show will not be included in the things that are raised when we rebuild this industry in a fair way. It will be women, it will be people of color, it will be different voices that are raised, and frankly I'm fine with that, to be honest. I'm sick of white dudes. So I hope that there will be a similar thing within the music industry. Again, I realize I won't, victim is the wrong word, but there will be other artists raised above me, and I'm fine with that because it needs to happen, because we need equal representation in entertainment as well as politics, as well as everything we do. So that I hope that we can do away with all of the gross dudes. I hope all the gross dudes get called out. If they do happen to be any gross women, I hope they're called out as well. But I bet it's mostly men.
Fuck you, gross people.
Stop being gross. I don't get it. So that's possibly cool. Shall I do the self-plug, or shall I do the other bit of good news? Doesn't matter.
It really depends on if you want to be a self-promoting... Do the self-promoting thing first, because then we can end on a nicer note.
That's true. Collabovirus is a word that's hard to say. It's a portmanteau of collaboration and coronavirus. I have been involved in making a charity album alongside Mango Flush, alongside Theo Sayers, alongside Jay Plent, who has previously been on the podcast. We've been working together to write music. We have a 10-track album, and we are releasing it on this coming Friday, which is the 26th. I'm going to assume I know what next Friday is.
Yes.
So if you're watching the live stream, it's on pre-release now, so you can go to collabovirus.bandcamp.com. You can't listen to the music, but you can make a donation to the charity in advance. I'll tell you about the charity in a second, and then you'll get it when it releases. If you're listening to the podcast, the album will be out now. You can go get it. Collabovirus.bandcamp.com. Oh God, let's try and spell it. COLLABAVIRUS.BANDCAMP.com. The day of release is one of these days where Bandcamp are giving 100% of proceeds to the artist. They are foregoing their cut. So it means that whatever you give on the day of release will all go to the charity. I just want to double check the name of the charity.
Is it Glenn?
It's not Glenn.
Glenn the charity.
Mr. Glenn the charity. I should know this already. I just want to double check because I will get it wrong if I don't check it, and then I'll look like a right knob. And the fun fact is, if you've been watching the live stream, it will have popped up a few times in the info below the stream, because I thought ahead.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, well, that's not the right thing. God, I am so good at all of the internet things.
Oh yeah, happy Father's Day, by the way.
Thanks. I don't have any children.
To all the fathers out
Oh,
there.
I genuinely thought you were talking to me there for some stupid reason.
I mean, I was
Thanks, Ben.
saying it to you, and then realised that it was stupid because, as far as I know, you don't have kids.
As far as I know, I don't have kids either.
Well, then it would be silly for me to say it to you, so I then changed it to saying it to all people of fatherness. Varying degrees thereupon.
I don't have a mother.
Happy day to you, sirs.
I do have a mother, but she ran away before I was born.
Well, and it's not Mother's Day.
And it's not Mother's Day. I can't open the folder, which is really, really annoying. It's okay. So I know what the charity does. I just can't remember the name off the top of my head, which feels really professional. It's a charity that provides music making opportunities to people who otherwise can't afford them, which is good.
We'll put the name in the actual podcast.
I'll put the name in the
episode.
actual
We can edit
podcast.
that in.
It's it's loading. God, this is so professional. Olympius Music Foundation. There you go. You can find out more about Olympius Music Foundation, and hopefully Laura will have edited this so I didn't forget the name of the charity I was doing work for, because that would be awful.
That would be awful.
Jay has put this whole thing together himself. He's done an awful lot of work there. The tracks were basically written, I think there's quite a few of us, aside from the ones I've mentioned, and some of us, we just uploaded samples and stems of unreleased music, just bits we've been working on over the years, just uploaded them to a file on Google Drive. Some of us wrote music especially for it, and then the idea was that other people would take the music, they would remix it, or they would add vocals, they would change stuff and then upload it, and then it would go back and forth. So there's I think there's a piece where I wrote a bass line and it's got my bass line in it. There's another piece where I wrote most of a song and featured someone else's samples, and then that got reworked massively by Jay and his partner, who's a vocalist, and then sent it back to me for the final mix. There's one which is almost entirely me, but then has a percussion sample from someone else, so it's a real mix. There's some really great stuff on there. It's really cool. 10 tracks, a really nice mix of different styles. Anyone that's heard music that I've done, music that Sai has done as Sai or as Mango Flash, and anyone that's heard Theo say, as anyone that knows Jay's music, we're quite disparate styles, so it's interesting how we have managed to make it work together. And I know some of the other artists who've contributed to it contributed samples as well, and like they're just really off the wall weird stuff, so it's amazing that we have one coherent album from it. So it's one of those things where like actually it's a pretty good listen, but also it helps charity. So there's that. Collabovirus.bandcamp.com. You can go help out now. You can look up Olympius Music Foundation if you want to know about where your money's going. If you like music, the money is going towards music, so what's not to like?
Hurrah!
Thank you.
We've got that's all good. Proud.
Me too, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Good things.
Check me out being serious for a moment.
Ugh, don't like it.
Got Raya in the chat saying that abusive tattoo artists are also being called out for harassment of stuff. So it's good that it's
lots of industries,
impacting dickheads across many platforms and things. Yeah. Says if you get tattoos on, you can get tattoos anywhere on your body, more or less. So it's good that creepy people are being less allowed to touch your body.
Hooray!
Basic, yeah. That's a good thing.
It is
no
good.
matter where you work.
It's unfortunate that as the human race we've reached that point where we're having to have conversations about, yeah, you really should have autonomy over your own self. Like, why are we having this argument? Why is it an argument? Who says we shouldn't? I don't understand. Whatever, man. My last piece of good news: Stephen Fry.
Yes,
Stephen Fry has discovered Muse and is rather fond of Muse.
Muse the band,
Muse
not Muse the concept.
I think he's aware of like the Muses, the concept of like the demigods from the ancient Romans and Greeks, but yeah, no, the band, the band. He tweeted, it was either yesterday or the day before. Golly, Muse are rather good, aren't they? ? End quote. Which is nice.
Oh, very Stephen Fry.
Very Stephen Fry. So I wanted to ask you if there's any bands that you have like been completely late to the party on. Is there any bands that like years later you go, oh yeah, my friends liked this back in the day. Actually, it's pretty good. They're all dead now, so I can't see them live. Because I definitely
not
have.
To the point of, not to the point of death.
Okay.
My Chemical Romance.
Right.
When they came out, I was at school, and my girlfriend was a year younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
So I would hang out with her and her friends, and they were what you would call the emos. I grew up, and it was Greb / goth.
Yeah. I mean, those are
were...
three very disparate things, but like, you try telling that to someone when you're just wearing a trench coat.
Yeah, well, I was Grebo or Greb, whatever.
Same.
And
here.
then went down the goth route.
Mm.
And then there were the emos who just started.
I mean, us Grebs looked down on the emos, didn't we? There was a hierarchy there, and like we just didn't want anything to do with the goths. That's how I remember it.
So yeah, they were all, her and her mates were all very, very into My Chemical Romance, and I think it was one of those things, just because it was everywhere and I heard them all the time, I was sick of them as a topic.
Yes, totally.
So I never really listened to them because it was just this again.
Again, yeah.
Years later, I can't say that I love all their stuff. I can't say that I've listened to all their stuff, but I'm Not Okay. Welcome to the Black Parade. I really like those songs now.
Okay. Interesting.
And it was probably around the time that they split up.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I started getting into them, and I believe it was this weekend, or possibly the weekend just gone, where they were meant to be doing gigs again.
The big reunion thing. Yeah.
The big reunion thing is with was it Wheatus and All Out Way? I
think so. Like, unfortunately, these are bands that I do not care for and have not at any point cared for. So, like, it was nice to see friends being excited that like their favorite band was back, but I was like,
exactly.
I wish that when I saw AC/DC, they didn't look quite so tired as they did. But we can't all have what they want. At least I got to see Malcolm Young when he was alive. That was dope. Raya says in the chat, I tried to listen to MCR recently, just didn't hit me the same way as it used to when I was 15. It's because that band was marketed towards your brain chemistry. I hate to say it, but like that's what it is. It's really easy to do.
Is that why it's called My Chemical Romance?
Yes. It's weirdly self-referential in that way. I find like my relationship with music is weird, and when I was a teenager, I was into like AC/DC, Zeppelin, Motley Crue, etc., Def Leppard. That middle one was etc., and then I wanted to say Def Leppard. There wasn't a band called. There probably is a band called etc., but I feel like we're focusing on that now. So I had like a weird combative relationship with music in general. I wanted to be adversarial, and I liked bands that basically didn't exist anymore, or like weren't popular anymore. And I like them almost for that purpose. So I wouldn't even give My Chemical Romance or Fall Out Boy a chance because they were popular. I wanted to find my own music and be into my own music. And the result of that is I've got to pay a crap load of money if I want to see these bands live, which I did. Christ, Def Leppard are really good live, I gotta say. I mean, that was 10 years ago, but Def Leppard are a bloody good show. So that's kind of
Sound more British.
I literally can't.
Def Leppard, bloody good show.
Bloody good, jolly good.
Damn good, bloody good show.
Damn good, bloody good. So even when it comes to like older rock bands that I had friends who were like similarly into older rock music and didn't like the current stuff, but they would always be really forceful with, oh, you've got to listen to Jimi Hendrix, you've got to listen to The Clash, and I was like, please stop telling me what I need to do.
Exactly.
If you tell me to do this, I'm going to not do it. So because of that, I've never given Jimi Hendrix a real chance. I've never given The Clash a real chance.
Queen, I think you've said as well.
Queen is a little different because you'll have dude bros screaming Bohemian Rhapsody on the train after a football match. And that's the main reason I don't like Queen, is because it's accessible to all people, and it shouldn't be. You've got to be an intellectual to like rock music, is what I'm saying.
I kind of see where you're coming from with that, yeah.
And so I've always been into like, I want to seek out stuff and I want to be like a bit of a hipster in that way. And I know that's not okay, but that's just how I feel about it. The band that like sticks out in my mind are The Darkness, because they were a rock band of the ilk of Motley Crue, AC/DC, etc. And they were around when I was... They were gigging and they were going when I was into rock music. But I thought that because they were writing fun, quirky, intentionally a little bit silly music, I thought, how dare they make fun of rock music? How dare they? And this is the same guy that liked Spinal Tap. So, like, I don't know what was going on in my brain. Loved Spinal Tap. But I think because that was older, I was like, oh, well, they're allowed to because that existed at the same time as... Yeah, it has authority because it's older. But The Darkness I really had a problem with. And two things happened. I don't love The Darkness, but I get it now. I understand why they exist. And I understand their popularity, and I wish that I would have given them more of a chance. Two things happened. I saw my favourite band of all time, Thin Lizzy. I saw them live at the Corn Exchange. Obviously, Phil Lynott, been dead for a while, but a chap called John Sykes, who is like top 5 greatest guitarists in my head, he was singing and playing guitar, so it was a dope gig. In support of Thin Lizzy were a band called Stone Gods. Do you know Stone Gods?
I do not know Stone Gods. No.
Stone Gods are The Darkness, but without the singer. So you take Justin Hawkins and you put him over there in the Justin Hawkins solo album, which was terrible, holy shit. Stone Gods are fucking good, man. Like, really dope. I don't think they recorded an awful lot of stuff, but really, really good. So because I was in a good headspace of being at a Thin Lizzy gig, when I saw an amp case with The Darkness's logo sprayed on it, I was like, oh, this is going to be weird. But I was open-minded at that point because I was in a good place. And then Stone Gods were awesome, played really well, great live show. So that made me go, oh, well, maybe my problem with The Darkness is literally Justin Hawkins, because he's shrieky and he's a bit silly and he's camp, but I don't really get that because I don't understand what masculinity is because I'm all full of hormones. Which I think is fair enough. The second thing that happened was when I was at music college, we had a guest lecture from Dan Hawkins, guitarist of The Darkness and Stone Gods. And his whole thing, really fun lecture. It was just him very awkwardly staring at his shoes and talking for a couple hours and taking questions. But it was cool, and he was basically saying that like they were just chaps having a laugh. That's all The Darkness ever was. It was them playing big old rock riffs inspired by the same bands that I was inspired by, but they were just having fun with the lyrics and not taking it seriously. And it was a bit of a jape. And like, oh, that yeah, they recorded. I've told this story on the podcast before, definitely. But like their Christmas single happened because Dan Hawkins was drunk at a record executive party and accidentally agreed to do one to make a Christmas single, and he wrote it on the bus to the studio to record the single, and just stuff like that. I was like, oh, I get it. You're just having fun. Maybe music should just be fun. And it took me that long to realize that music was supposed to be fun. Because I'm an idiot. And I could have liked The Darkness this whole time. But I was all caught up in my, no, rock music is sacred. How dare you make fun of rock music thing. Spinal Tap's a good movie. It's got Saul Goodman's brother in it.
Called This Is Spinal Tap.
This is Spinal Tap.
This is Spinal Tap. It's where Turn It Up to 11 comes from.
Yep.
I can't, yeah.
I agree with Emmy.
I've not seen it, but I know.
Have you not seen it?
No.
Oh,
I've seen
dude.
clips.
Okay, you're in lockdown. Watch Spinal Tap.
Okay.
Okay, good. Uma Hewer's point, you cannot compare Spinal Tap to The Darkness. Yeah.
I mean, you can, because we just did, but I get what you mean.
Yeah, they are different things. I think they're the same in that they're kind of having fun with the genre of rock music, but I think because Spinal Tap were taking the real silly bits, like the whole Stonehenge idea, based on stuff that actually happened, and like the elements that even if you're into rock music, you can't deny that is just a little bit silly. Whereas The Darkness were just having fun. That was the thing that kind of created confusion in my head. Yeah. that was a lot. There's some good news in there. I feel like I hope we made you feel things, even if those things aren't necessarily positive. Because
let's hope that you've at least seen some of the positivity in the world.
Yeah.
Amongst all the awful, horrible shit that's going on.
Yeah. Oh, and the other bit of good news is that when there's worldwide disasters or worldwide events, governments tend not to stay on for much longer after the end of those events. So that's something to look forward to, everybody.
I mean, this is what I keep saying about Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Even if he somehow gets elected in November, re-elected, whatever.
He's looking at you, Russia.
If he does, then he can only be president for 4 more years, and then he can never do it again.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
He can't be president anymore.
Yeah.
At maximum, we have 4 years of Donald Trump left.
Unless he decides to change the law.
Well, in which case, assassination is always an option.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be alive much longer. You've seen how he stands. You've seen how he walks. He can barely put his trousers on with like bits of hair falling. Yeah, exactly. Like he's there's not much left in him. Just let him tire himself out. Just build another Oval Office under the original Oval Office. You definitely have a spare. And just let him wander around in it. He'll sign edicts and shit. Give him his own brand of Twitter. Put him on Bebo. He'll never know. Tell him it's the new thing. And, just let him wear himself out.
Yeah. And then film it and make it into a reality TV show.
Yeah. I'd watch it.
Well, I'm glad that we got that out in the open.
Yes. This has been a podcast.
It has indeed been a podcast.
So shall we wrap up the podcast and then... Or do we just want to wrap up everything? Shall we wrap up the podcast and then wrap up the live stream?
Oh, go on then.
Okay. Thank you for listening to and presumably enjoying the Conversation Hat podcast. I would be immensely appreciative if you'd leave us a positive review on wherever you are listening. Believe it or not, that helps us out an awful lot. The other things that help us out are buying our merch, supporting us on Patreon, and telling your mates.
Give us money, tell your friends.
Yep. All
Give
of those
us money,
things.
tell your friends.
The live streams happen once a month. If you're listening to the podcast, that means you've missed it by a week. But it means that you only have 2 or 3 weeks until the next live stream on twitch.tv/Convo Hat Podcast, or on YouTube. You've just got to search Conversation Hat Podcast, and it will be the thing with the pink logo and the pink background. And yes, you can find me on Twitter at LT Guitarist. Ben, where can people find you?
Well, I was going to say that I put out a TikTok thingy just
did.
before this.
You
we
bloody
started
did as
this,
well.
And I've got 1 view.
Yay!
So what you can do is find me at Spike Pierson, SPIKEPIERSON, on TikTok, and see if I can get any more than the 3 followers I have.
I swear to God.
You can find me on Instagram with the same thing. I sometimes put funny shit on there. I don't do Twitter anymore because I got bored of it.
If Ben goes viral on TikTok, I'm going to be so happy. Because, like...
Yeah, Liam's surprised that I'm not already, but I've only got, like, 6 things on there.
My headphones are blue. I'm wearing my headphones. I'm singing to you. Blue headphones.
Yeah, and you can go and watch that whole thing on TikTok right now. You can see the little dance as well.
So
go and enjoy. Make Liam's dream of me being famous come true.
Look, man, I'm an enabler. I just want other people to be successful.
Yeah, I appreciate that because I want to be successful as well.
Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? You can rate and review and tell friends and buy merch and all of that stuff. You know what? You're a grown-up. You can Google it. I'm not here to... Imagine the day when you can click on links through audio. Won't ever be a thing, but that would be nice.
I don't think it will be.
Oh, who knows?
Anyway.
They're doing weird things with Googles these days. Anyway, that was the podcast. And
that was the Conversation Hat Podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Have an advert where we say exactly the same things. Do you want to hit the record button? Boop.
Oh
okay.
Shit! Hang on.
I mean, I hope you were recording.
Finished.
Okay, good. Rye, we can't stay forever. We'd love to, but you would go.
Illegal.
You would go mad. You would go absolutely crazy. The good news is there's like, oh Christ, there's like over 100 episodes of the podcast in general if you include the B show and the live streams. That's like days. So you could just have me and Ben talking in the background for like actual days. That's a really good way to hurt your brain, but you could do it.
I mean, you could do it many, many times.
Oh yeah, what I didn't do on the podcast, which perhaps I should have, I'll do it on the live stream then, it's fine. I wanted to shout out to some of the the random peaks in listeners that we have over the world, because I find that massively fascinating. I opened the wrong app. Hang on. If you do want to listen to the podcast, I would encourage you to go to Spotify. Spotify is a great place for growth of podcasts, but they're not very good at letting you know when new podcasts are released. So if you want an app to download for podcasts in general, Podbean is quite good. Podbean or Podcast Go. Those are both good apps that I use. If you want to interact with the audio version of the show, SoundCloud is probably the place to do that. You can leave comments. I don't think you can leave comments on any of the other platforms. I also believe Acast is quite good. There's Apple as well, and there's Google. Like, yeah, you use the apps. Let's have a look at some of these places. Canada. Seriously, there's loads of like random peaks in Canada. There's a place called Surrey in Canada, and someone has either 73 people have listened to one episode, or one person has listened to 73 episodes. I don't believe it could be any other combination of numbers. And yeah, I do talk a lot. It's kind of my job. Do you want to talk? Do you have something to say?
No,
okay.
I'm just saying shit. I'm just chatting shit
Chatting
about you
shit
in
on
chat.
YouTube. Lovely. There are some other peaks throughout the USA. De Pere, I don't know where that is. Overland Park, I don't know where that is. Leahy, I don't know where that is. New Liskeard in Canada. Dublin in Ireland. I can't say this out loud. GETXO in Spain. Little peak there. Accrington in the UK. Chester, UK. Stuttgart, Germany. Big up.
Woo! We are apparently popular with German bands.
Ooh.
I think
Schnitzel.
I've said this before. Friend of the show, Ray Afro Baby Collington, has said that she's been hanging out with some bands that she's gone to go and see, and they've seen. She was showing them something on the phone, and they saw that the Conversation Hat was on there, and they were like, "Oh, you like these guys too?" And they didn't believe her when she said that she knew us. Well, she knows me, but yeah, they didn't believe that at all. So shout out to Ray.
Remind me, Ben, we need to send Ray a pile of stuff because we just got some new badges and stickers arrived the other day. If you need badges and stickers, please go to badgesandstickers.co.uk for all of your badges and stickers.co.uk needs. I think it's basically a company run by a single chap, and he's really good quality and he works really fast and pretty affordable as well. Yeah, we'll send some stuff out to her. Yeah, big up Deutschland, many schnitzel to you all. Du hast
And to all a good Frankfurt.
Zwei Currywurst, danke. That's what I would like for a snack.
Zwei Currywurst, yeah.
Yeah, two. Give me that.
Yeah.
Give me that sausage,
Alles
y'all.
gut. Alles gut.
Yes. You're just completely chatting shit on me in the chat, aren't you? This is uncool.
No, I'm not.
Oh, I'm sad. Does the chat come up on screen as well? I can't remember. Or it might be the Twitch chat or the YouTube chats. I need to fix all the streaming stuff as well. I think we got to wrap up.
Yeah, I think it's important. Thank you for sitting on the chat and listening to us talk bollocks. Badges and Stickers website is down. We'll fix that.
Nothing to do with us, buddy.
We'll have someone fix that.
We'll have a guy.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us once again. It is always appreciated. We will be back here in about 4 weeks' time to see what's going on.
We will have some other episode out in the interim.
You all stay safe. Wash your hands. Be good to each other. Go and have a biscuit. Treat yourself.
Don't listen to the government. Stay indoors. It's still not safe. There will be a second wave. Told you so. Many Gengar to you all. Or whatever that is.
And to all a good spook.
Oh, I have to press the button, don't I? I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah, you do.
Bye-bye.
Laters.
Oh, no.
Oh, come on,
God damn it.
For the preemptive abortion of the elderly. The streets are safe, television set at an unpainful volume, and the cheeks of the adorable remain unpinched. Alas, back in merry old Blighty, no ends in sight to the scourge of #YOLOAP. Government officials are drafting legislation to combat abuse of the substance, whilst denying that the Queen has herself been indulging in the fad. She did, however, form the rap posse, Little Liz, and the Bitch Slaps, much to the annoyance of Charlie.
I don't raise national debt if I sold my scepter, but I represent God, so show some respect. I lick the stump. La 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 la, lick the stump.
Remember, children and the elderly, there is a time to girn and a time to learn.
Il s'appelle Jérôme. Il vit dans une maison. Parfois, quand il est seul, il veut être un poisson.
Will you take a nap, Splashmore?
No.
Will you take a nap, Splashmore?
No.
Will you take us to Mount 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 Splashmore? Will you take us to Mount Splashmore?
No.
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 Will you take us to Mount Splashmore? Will you take us to Mount Splashmore?
If I take you, will you two shut up and quit bugging me?
Yeah, of course. Well. Will you take us to Mount Splashmore?
Yes.
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 Thanks, Dad.
Oh, my unborn children!
What I'm trying to get all the way till you're done tittering, that's fine. Ruiner of things! Bendrick's Diet Coke, take 3. Right, good.
Damn you, Spielberg!
Magical toilets flying through the sky.
I learned about cactus.
Without finding yourself hilarious.
Oh, that's hard for me.
Dim. Shyamalan!
Would you like a lemon? Lemon! Lemon! Would you like a lemon?
Hammers!
Take poo! Oh, sorry, I meant to.
And then I'd love you till I make you pop.
Dun dun dun! Hang on. Hang on. Yeah, there it is. There it is!
Yeah, I'm in a tree. Ow!
We're in love.
Jeffrey Chaucer!
There's a cactus in my hair!
I need to not lose my shit.
Robes.
Check.
Check. Lovecraftian plush.
Check. Summoning circle.
Check.
That's stupid.
It's magic. You're stupid. Sod off.
Okay.
Non-diegetic music.
How would I know? Right. Portal to hell.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Are we sure that this is the right thing to do?
Absolutely. We've got to do something for Halloween.
I'm pretty committed at this point. I'm
Like,
into
we've
it.
got the robes and everything.
Yeah, man.
Portal to
Conversation. 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 Conversation.
Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation. Conversation.
Conversation.